Yeah, that's a hot dog. And yeah, it's dancing. I made this in Procreate. Let me show you how I got there. Hello, everybody. My name is Alexis. Welcome to Frankenstipple. I'm going to show you how I animated this hot dog. Okay, so the very first thing I want to do when working on these is to make sure that I have duplicated the original. This is maybe an unnecessary step, but it's just an organizational thing. So to do that, you can swipe left with your Apple Pencil and hit this duplicate option. Every now and then, Procreate does this little glitch thing where your image does not go in your folder, so you might have to back out, go all the way to the top, and click and drag. You can scroll with your finger while you hold it with your Apple Pencil, and then you can drop it in here. So I'm going to name this Original, or you could say Image 1. That might be more clear. Image 1. And we want to go ahead and name everything and be super organized, or your animation is going to get confusing really fast. So you can see I've named most things. These are the dots in the background, so let me rename that. And everything's looking pretty organized. I have most everything on separate layers. This is good practice to have when you're animating. If you don't have this in your design yet, take some time to cut. You can use this freehand tool and kind of cut around areas. So here's what I'm thinking. This is feeling very party, exciting. We want hot dog to be dancing. Immediately, arms go up is what I did, so hot dog should do the same. So let's duplicate the arms, and we'll use the arrow tool to select them, and we can do a simple flip vertical. I also might flip horizontal to make it a little bit different. We really want to make sure that these hook at the exact same area as the original arms. If they're up, it's kind of weird, like his arms moved all the way up. So let's really make sure that those are good. And that is good. Let's turn the down arms off. And I notice here that I'm not loving that the arms hit this blue dot of confetti. I'm wondering if we even need that dot at all. So let's just erase. And erase that highlight as well. And we'll leave that. I like that a little bit better. So let's make sure to rename this up arms. And I'm going to turn the up off and the down because this is going to be image 1, the original. But I'm going ahead and drawing the animations on the original just in case I have to make edits like that dot that I just made an edit to, so that both are still identical. So if that's confusing, bear with me. It'll make sense in a minute. So let's address the mouth next. I feel like I want the expression to change when they're dancing. So instead of a closed mouth, maybe we do an open mouth. So brand new layer, let's go ahead and name it open mouth. I'm going to lower the opacity here just so I know the placement. We've got black, and I am using a model line brush under calligraphy. I'm going to crank it all the way up to 100. All right. Now make sure to remember to turn your opacity back to 100%. Again, turning off open mouth, going back to the default, which is closed mouth. Lastly, let's do the legs. I'm just going to duplicate legs here, turn off the original, and let's make the hot dog bend a little bit. Not just the knees having a bend, but the whole hot dog. So let's call them bendy knees. I'm going to erase those kneecaps. And then, all right, so we just want some sort of slight bend here, making sure that the weight of the line feels like the weight of the original leg. You might have to go in here with the eraser tool. Turn that way down to kind of make these curves a little smoother. Yeah, that works. And you know what? I'm actually just going to erase this leg entirely. And then we can use the selection tool. Copy, paste, and then we can flip horizontal. Make sure everything's aligned. Let me turn those straight legs on just so I can get this aligned as best as possible. There we go. Don't forget to crank that opacity back to all the way. Turn that off. Going to merge down, so these are one layer only. And then I need to come in here and just, oops, extend this leg a little bit. There we go. Also, why is this drawing guide randomly on? There we go. Now we have bendy legs. I'm going to wait to move the hot dog down now that I think about it. So let's turn bendy knees off and straight legs back on. Straight legs. That sounds like an album or something. I don't know. A scary movie. All right, so just double checking here. This is the original drawing I had. We've got closed mouth, we've got down arms, and we've got straight legs. So we're going to go back to our gallery and we're going to duplicate. And that time it worked. It duplicated to the same folder. We're going to name that image 2. And now in image 2, we are guaranteed that everything is exactly the same frame to frame because we did those initial layers in image 1. So there's no weird shifts happening or random dots or etc., etc. So what we want to do is make sure that this is image 2 now. So we want up arms instead of down arms. We want bendy knees instead of straight legs. We want open mouth instead of closed mouth. And now is when I'm going to shift the hot dog down. So I've got the hot dog group selected. I'm going to use the arrow key and just move. Okay, I'm realizing that the mouth also needs to move. So let's swipe right to also select mouth. And I can move that down just a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is a simple color shift. So I want the yellow or the green dots to become blue and the blue dots to become green. So let's select green dots. And we've got layered blue dots selected. So we're going to drag, and that is not at all the right color. Let me really zoom in here. There we go. And again, we have blue dots selected. And we're going to drag and drop. Now, if you do that, you are just going to, like 9 times out of 10, it's only going to affect one dot. So I'm going to undo that. You want to tap your pen, drag, and do not lift the pen off the iPad. You're going to keep it on the iPad, and you'll see this threshold bar at the top. You want to move your pencil all the way to 100% and then let go. And then it affects all of them. It's a little glitch. Sometimes it happens. So now I want to go to green dots because we're doing opposites here with image 2. And again, threshold 100. And now we have our second image. So going back to our gallery, I'm just kind of double checking, do these two images appear opposite? So yes, I don't see anything wrong, but we will catch things that are wrong in the animation if there is something off. So we're going to go in here, we're going to do share, JPEG, save image. So we've got image 1. Now we're going to do image 2, share, JPEG, save image. Okay, now that I've exported 2 images, I'm going to start a brand new file, and I can see these are 4,000 by 5,000, so I hit the plus sign. I have used that size before, so it pops up in my canvas, but to the right of new canvas, you can do a brand new size. Make sure it's 4,000 by 5,000. DPI 300 is usually my go-to. So we'll hit create. We've got a brand new file. We're going to add those JPEGs, so insert a photo. Perfect. Let's go ahead and keep everything consistent and name image 1. And then image 2. Perfect. Now you can do a little test here to see if anything is amiss. We can turn image 2 layer on and off. And I'm not seeing anything crazy, so I'm going to go ahead and animate this. This is good to me. You want to make sure that both layers are on. If you only have one image on, I'll show you what happens. You'll go to Canvas and you'll want the second option, Animation Assist, and this toolbar pops up at the bottom. Because I only have one layer turned on, there's only one image in this toolbar. So if I hit play, absolutely nothing happens because there's only one image. So if I turn that on, now 2 have popped up at the bottom and I can hit play and we've got an animation. This is crazy. This is way too fast, but we can fix it. So let's hit pause. We can go to settings, and loop is correct for a stop animation. You can play with the other options if you'd like, but loop is usually my go-to. Now, frames per second, the default is 15, and that's why this is moving so chaotically and fast. We want to be more around 5. And you just click the screen to get out of that. And then when you hit play, you have a lot more controlled, normal speed GIF or GIF. Animation. GIF. GIF or GIF. Tell me in the comments, is it GIF or GIF? What do you say? What's correct? Now that this is done, we have a fun little animation. I can go to settings, share, and there's really 2 options that you can do here. You can do animated GIF, GIF, or animated MP4. The GIF, you can see, you can kind of preview what's going to happen. Usually whatever it is, default-wise is good to go. You can just export. What do you guys think? Hot dog? Well, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and like this video. All right, bye.